technique is. Late in the game, I think Keyshawn was back there, but I'm not sure because I know he got banged up. The ball lands at the 4, rolls down to the 1. I know you don't probably want to catch a ball in that spot normally, but it did seem like there was room to run. So is that, again, just kind of the calculus in the returner's head? Or is there a hard and fast rule, dude, if you're at the 5, don't go catch the ball?
Yeah, so we tried to, in those backed up punt scenarios, we try to not make it where there's a whole lot of gray for the player. We are deeper than some teams. You know, I've heard people say, you know, put your heels at the 10 or we are heels at the 7, and there really is no time that we want our guys inside of that. Obviously, not having the ball at the 1 is preferable, right? But with the ball hitting at the 4, you're hoping that it hits and rolls, and you're playing the percentages there. You know, and through a lot of analytics is why we choose the 7. And I thought, you know, in that case, based on everything we coached to have happen, he made the right decision there.
With the onside, was that something Coach Norvell brought to you? Is that something that, I guess, how did that kind of come about? And I guess, what can you say about Parker's execution on it? Probably couldn't have been much more perfect.
Well, first part of your question is in terms of how that went down. Coach did say he wanted something earlier in the week that was aggressive like that and that kind of mindset, and he suggested that we have something ready for that. So, you know, that was how kind of that started. Because you know, one of those calls are good, but you know, as the head coach, you have to want to do them, you know, and coach is aggressive, and you know, he wants to take advantage of those opportunities when he's there. So that's the first part, and then Parker's execution was obviously really good. You know, it was gutsy to go in there and get it. It was a really good kick by him, and just overall, I thought it was a big play in the game, and gave us a chance because we needed a spark. We needed some momentum at that point in time in the game.
When Keir makes a play on the inside, do you get credit or does Odell get credit? And just on a serious note as well, just in a game like this, rivalry game, a game against Miami, how important are guys like Keir in these kind of games that it means so much to him? He's from that area. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of college football when these opportunities arise for kids like that.
Sure. You know, I could tell just by his body language and posture in his chair yesterday before we even took the practice field that he's locked in, ready to go. You know, he played well on Saturday, and obviously he's going to be excited about this week. But, you know, to play well in these types of games, to me, it's about your preparation, the week that leads up to it, and then controlling your moment or controlling your emotions in the moment. Because, yes, I want him to be excited to play, but not to the point where it takes him out of who he is and what he's been able to do really throughout the course of the year. So I know he's fired up, and I know he's ready, and, you know, I'm excited for him to have the opportunity to play this game.
Following up on Keir, after the game, I think somebody asked him about the defense, it might have been me, about the defense, the missed tackles and just kind of giving up some big plays. And he was just like, just make the tackle. Like, he sounded mad. And Coach Fuller said that you're seeing more accountability within the position groups and the team. How different is that in terms of the way guys are holding each other accountable versus maybe a year ago?
You know, I think you've seen a growth overall from the defense as the year has gone on. You know, last year is last year in terms of such an odd year with a new staff and the way the year went with kind of the COVID and all the different bodies that were rotating in and out of the lineup. But it's been pretty consistent in terms of who's playing, you know, for the most part over the course of the last at least 7 or 8 weeks. And I think when you have that type of consistency within personnel groupings, you know, there is, and we do a lot of meeting together. So the more comfortable you get with each other, and I think the more the time you've put in and the more work and all the practice, I think there is that comfort level to talk. And it's a close group, and you know, there is accountability within the defense, and that's not sometimes that's looked at from like as a negative, like it's always accountability is a negative thing. But when good things happen, you know, whether it's good things on the back end or on the front end, those guys are cheering for each other and they're pulling for each other. And you do see a group that's starting to come together. And hopefully over the next couple of weeks, we really see it reach its full potential, because I don't think we've seen our defense. We've seen flashes of it, but we haven't seen it do a whole game of its full potential. And we need to do that. And this would be a great week to get it started.
You guys are promised only 3 more games this season. Keir and Jermaine, especially, they're only going to have 3 more games here at Florida State, most likely. Derek McClendon, Quayshawn Fuller, the younger guys, do you push more urgency on them? Do they need to be able to detect that on themselves? How does that work?
You keep pushing those guys to develop regardless of how many games you got, because you're looking to always build your team and build your depth. And you do see the growth of a lot of the, you refer to Derek and Quayshawn, but you do see a lot of guys growing and getting more expansive roles as they continue to develop. But I don't think, my mindset, our mindset from a coaching standpoint doesn't change in that, these 3 games we're starting this week. It's about winning this week. And, next year and who's going to be playing next year, we'll worry about that as these weeks kind of tick away. But this is about this week and going making sure we put the best team on the field that we possibly can to win the game.
We'll go to Ira here for the last one.
Actually, a two-parter about Parker. Did he pull anything on that? Was it on that play, or was it on the ensuing kickoff?
Yeah, no. So on the kick, I think there was a lot of adrenaline and everything that kind of went with it. He was fired up when he came over, and he did make the comment to me that he got rolled up pretty good. We go down and score. I ask him, are you okay? And I still think he feels good about everything that happened. And I can't tell you from like a medical like exactly what happened in terms of when. We're assuming on the kick is when he kind of got rolled up a little bit. Because when he hit the next kickoff, he came over and said he had to get checked out. So that obviously in hindsight, you wish you knew that before you put him out there for the second kick that he wasn't really ready to do it. But he was fired up, he was ready to roll, and Ryan came in, and I feel comfortable with him if he has to do the kickoff. So we'll see where this week goes and let that part kind of play itself out.
Then the other thing was on Alex. It seemed like it was for a big chunk of that game, it was kind of a field position battle, and just how well he did for you guys.
Yeah, Alex had a very solid game for us. There was a couple times that we asked him to kind of flip the field over, and he did a nice job of that. He got a couple punts down inside the 10, which is obviously critical. I thought he did a really good job. And then the ultimate weapon that he does provide is if somebody does want to kind of load up one side to block off of our right side, which is what we see predominantly, he can roll to the left and punt, either with his left foot or late in the game, he just kind of rolled to the left and punted it in a more traditional way. So just having his multiplicity and style of kick, I think, is an advantage for us. And I thought he played well the other night, and it helped us.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, everybody.